Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we are going to explore integrations with Evernote. One of the ways that you can extend Evernote's capability is to integrate with other applications. And in order to find out how Evernote works with the applications that you're already using, so if you write the name into the search bar, you'll be able to determine whether or not your application is one that Evernote integrates with directly. So for example, we would type in Microsoft Outlook because that's a common application that people work with. And you would determine that Evernote actually has an integration with Microsoft Outlook. In fact, you can actually access that integration through Microsoft Office. Now, this application only works with Evernote for Business. So if you have the free version or if you have one of the other paid versions, you will not be able to use Evernote for Outlook. So it's a good idea to take a look at all of the applications that fall under the category of the platform that you use most. So for example, if you are a Windows PC user, you'd click Windows and you'd see all of the applications that are available direct to Evernote. As you can see here, in this particular case, there are a finite number of applications, so it'd be a good idea to find out what they do. For example, we'll take two of them. Call Note, for example, allows you to automatically send the recording of your Skype conversations to Evernote. The G-Sync It application synchronizes Outlook folders with Evernote notebooks. So again, all of these factors allow you to work with platforms that are already part of your productivity mix. Now you'll notice that Evernote has 6 platforms that it focuses on. The Android platform, iPhone, iPad, Windows, Mac, and then there are also web application or browser applications. So we're going to go ahead and click Web Applications. And what you're going to notice is that there are a number of web applications that Evernote integrates with. There are 2 in particular that we are going to focus on in this course. One of those applications is If This Then That, or IFT, as well as Zapier. Both web applications allow you to connect multiple applications to Evernote. So your capability is extended even further. So in the next video, we're going to start the process by looking at integrations between IFT, or If This Then That, and Evernote. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We are now at the website IFT, or If This Then That. You can access that website by going to ifttt.com. If you go to the site and after the backslash you write Evernote, you'll notice that IFT has an Evernote page where they talk about some of the connections that are available. So if you don't have an account with IFTTT, you are going to want to sign up for one now. Now you can choose to sign up with Google, Facebook, or sign up or sign in. And if you have a Gmail account, your sign up will be instant and you will already be given access to IFTTT. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect our account. And in order to do that, we are going to need to give IFT permission to access our Evernote account. So we're going to do that by putting our Evernote account email address in this dialog box. We're then going to need to write in our Evernote password. Now, if you have sensitive information, you are going to want to read your third-party application's permission, just so that you'll understand what you'll be doing with IFT. You want to determine how long you're going to give IFT access to your account. And once you've done that, you are then going to click Authorize. Now, once you do that, you'll then want to come back to the main screen in IFT, and you'll want to know which services actually integrate with Evernote. And so what you'll want to do is you'll want to write Evernote into the search grid, and then you'll notice the applets that'll come up at the bottom telling you which recipes are going to be available to connect 2 services together, where one of them is going to be Evernote. For example, you can sync starred emails in Gmail to Evernote, so that all you'll have to do is to go in, click star, and then that email will then show up inside of Evernote. You can actually create connections between Google Calendar and Evernote. And you'll see a number of integrations that you'll want to be able to use. Now, if you want to speed up the search process, then all you'll need to do is to then write in the other application. And you'll be able to find those applications that are connected to Evernote and the service that you're looking for. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we are going to be discussing scanning documents into Evernote. Now, you may from time to time come across a situation where you are with your mobile device and you need to scan something and you need to make sure that you archive it properly. Evernote has an application that we can actually download to our mobile device to make the scanner work along with your Evernote application. And so you're going to go to your App Store and you're going to type in Evernote Scannable, and then you're going to get the application. Now, once the application has been installed, you can then open the application. The application is going to ask you if it can access the camera, and you're going to say OK. You will then sign in with your Evernote account. Now, once you have your application open, you will then find your document, the one that you are going to want to use. You're going to then want to hold your camera over that document so that it is captured. Once you have the document, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to save the document. And then you'll get a note saying that notifications allow Scannable to alert you if there are going to be issues saving this scan. We're then going to click OK. And then we're going to continue. Now, we do then want to allow Scannable to send us notifications. Now, our document has been saved to our inbox inside of Evernote. So then we can then click Done. Our document is then inside of Evernote. We can then annotate it. Now, if you attempt to change the document's information inside of the web app, you will not be able to. You will need to go to the desktop application. And it's here that we can actually change the name of our document. We can add in tags here also. So basically what we're able to do is we're able to take anything that we scan, we're able to annotate it, and then we're able to categorize it into a notebook where we want it to be. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. You are now looking at the website evernote.com, which is home for the productivity app Evernote. Evernote is an adaptable system that you can use to keep organized as well as collaborative with your communication. So one of the key features in Evernote is going to be note-taking. Whether you do that note-taking digitally or you do it in an analog format, Evernote is there to house what it is that you have written. It takes those notes and anything else that you'd like to keep and archives them. So you have a place not only where you can store, but also where you can categorize. And one of the key features in Evernote is that it is made for categorization. That means then that your content will be searchable according to the system that you set up when you put your documents in order. Evernote can be used on multiple devices. So it's actually an application that will work on your personal computer or your Mac. It'll also work on your mobile device, and it will also work as a cloud application from your browser. Evernote provides its users unlimited storage capacity. The limitations are done by uploading. So depending on how much you pay, that's how much you can upload on a regular basis. Now, Evernote is really designed for you to get more done in less time. It's designed to increase the level of your communication, whether or not you're going to be working with someone on specific information or you want to collaborate with a customer or someone in your organization or concerning your organization or even people who are working on your team. One of the key features of Evernote in that way is that Evernote can be used to automate communication. It can also be used to automate notifications. Basically, Evernote can be used to work smarter, especially by using its automation features. And so, as a result of that, in this course, we're going to be focusing on how you can automate communication and notifications so that you'll be able to work smarter. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we are going to create an audio note and we're going to save it and archive it in Evernote. And in order to do that on the desktop app, what we're going to do first is we're going to click New Note. And then once we have the note open, we're going to give that note a title. And then once we do that, we're going to look to the toolbar. And then we're going to click this link that says Record Audio. And then what we're going to do, and you'll see that this audio is actually recording, and you can see the meter as it records speech. And we're going to go ahead and click the record button. And what's going to happen is that Evernote is going to actually record the audio as speech is heard in this particular case. And then once the audio has been completed, all you'll need to do then is hit the Save button. You'll then have a WAV file inside of Evernote. Now, one thing that you're going to want to be aware of is that these audio notes as WAV files are going to be fairly large, and what will govern whether or not these audio notes sync properly to Evernote is that they do not exceed your limit. So in some cases the limit is 25 meg. In other cases the limit is 200 meg. Again, it really depends on what level you've purchased. You can also do the same thing using your mobile device. And so what you'll need to do is to click this green button. And then you'll want to give your document a title. Then once you do that, you're going to click that plus button. And then you're going to click Record Audio. Evernote is then going to want to use the microphone. And then you will be able to dictate into your mobile device just as if you were dictating into your PC, or just as we did prior to this. Once you have completed your audio note, you will then click Done. You'll then have a similar file inside of Evernote for you to be able to use and notate and categorize. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. You are now looking at the desktop application of Evernote. And the strength of Evernote is your ability to take notes on just about anything and to categorize it properly. So when you click New Note, you are going to notice that you are going to have a traditional word processing interface, which means that you will be able to digital notes and include just about anything. So for example, we might have this text and we're just going to copy and paste some text in here. If there's something else that is part of the thought on what you've posted, you can actually upload and attach a file. And Evernote reminds you that when you upload an Office document, in particular one from Microsoft, that document's going to be searchable inside of Evernote. So we're going to go ahead and click OK because we just uploaded a PowerPoint presentation. And so that can be associated with all of the data that you have just entered. You can upload an image. That image, if it's part of the thought that you are trying to communicate or that you're trying to archive. Now, any additional aspect of our upload, we can actually right-click the actual document and we can annotate the image. So in this particular case, we can add information to the image and we can further give it some clarity so that, again, when we are looking to search for this image or we're doing a search later on, we will have archived information that will help us. And of course, we can save our annotation. The key is that once we have archived this information, it's going to be searchable and it's going to be synced across our devices. We can also add to the document with written notes. So if we capture it with an image, we can take our photo and we can have this added to the document. When we save it as a document, that means then that this content is actually going to be searchable. We'll click Save, and now this document is now part of our note. So again, this gives us added flexibility of being able to add to something and to continue to keep all of the thoughts in one place and to be able to archive it appropriately. Now, in another video in this series, we are actually going to show you how to categorize and how to notate so that you'll be able to find things easy. However, one of the things you want to be aware of is that with Evernote, you will be able to find information according to the words that you have placed in here, whether or not they're from images or from the actual text. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to integrate our calendar in our platform with Evernote. Now we're going to go through 3 popular calendar integrations: Google, iCal, and Outlook, which covers most, if not all, digital calendar users. Now, in order to integrate Google with Evernote, what you'll need to do is you'll need to write in the phrase into Google, integrate calendar with Evernote. You'll find a specific search result inside of the IFT website, and it will say connect Google Calendar to Evernote. When you find that search result, you're going to click it. Now, there are several connections between your Google Calendar and Evernote. What you'll do is you'll scroll through the different integrations and you'll choose the one that helps you best. And once you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to click the recipe. And when you get the recipe, what you're going to do is you're going to click Turn On. And then IFT is going to ask for permission to access your Google Calendar. You'll click OK. IFT will say it wants to manage your calendar. You're going to click Allow. And depending on the particular recipe, you will then be brought to a configuration screen. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to set up your parameters for the recipe. And in some cases, IFT will give you the opportunity to do what it calls add an ingredient. And so if you look at the actual description of the ingredient, you can actually add in the new ingredient to the recipe. And you'll see the addition being made. You can add in another ingredient here. And this will happen from time to time within recipes. Once you have added all the ingredients and you have configured your recipe, you can then click Save. What you'll want to do at that point is you'll want to make sure that the applet runs, and you can do that by clicking Check Now. IFT will say you that the applet has been checked, and now your application is ready to run inside of both Google Calendar and Evernote. So the key will be understanding which of the recipes you want to actually work with your Evernote categorization system. You'll then set up and then configure the recipe. Now, in order to connect to iCal, what you're going to do is you're going to click your mail icon if you are in Apple. And you can do a similar exercise if you are in Android. You want to look to your mail application. And what you're going to do is you're going to either choose both Google, which integrates into Evernote in the way that we just showed you, or you're going to choose Outlook. What will happen then is that the calendar will sync based on that third-party connection. So once again, you can choose either Outlook or Google to sync with Evernote, and then sync either Google or Outlook with your mail system so that iCal calendar will reflect what's in Evernote. Now, to integrate your Outlook calendar, what you're actually going to do is you're going to do this from the Microsoft side, and you're going to do this through the Microsoft Office store. Now, once you arrive at the page, you are going to see that there are certain products within the Outlook family that are going to be supported. And if that is one of yours, then what you're going to do is you're going to then click Get It Now. And once you've done that, then your integration will be complete between Evernote and Microsoft Outlook's calendar. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to talk about filing and organization. And this is really the strength of Evernote. And it gives you several options to use in order to categorize your information. Now, the most obvious is that you can actually tag every note that you put together. So, in other words, there's a note that has lots of text in it. That text is going to be searchable. However, we may want to give that text some context. And so we can do that with tags. And if we're inside of the desktop app, all we'll need to do is to click Add Tag. And then we're just going to write in contextual information that will help us to find similar information when we want it. And what this means then is that when our information is properly synced and we were to go looking for all of the documents that had classified ads or direct marketing, the one that we just notated would be one of those that we would find. And so tagging is one good way that we have available to us in Evernote of classifying our information. Now the notes are saved into notebooks, and this can have different groupings of notes that you think are similar or that give you a category that you like to keep together. And you can create as many notebooks as you want, and you want to create them according to a system that's going to make sense for you. Those notebooks can be further categorized into stacks. And so we can take a notebook, we can right click that notebook, and we can add that to a specific stack that we create. Once again, it gives us the latitude of being able to name and create a stack that makes sense for our categorization. And everything that we associate with our document can be categorized and annotated. And all we'll need to do is to go to the actual image or the actual piece of information and then right click it. We can rename that document whatever we want it to be. And you'll see that here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a system that's going to be easy to manage, yet at the same time provides us information when we need it. We don't want to do searching and get an overwhelming number of responses because then that makes our search cumbersome. Now, one of the other things that you can do is you can actually tag by setting a reminder. And you can go to this right-hand menu and you can click Reminder, and you can add a date to the note. Now, obviously, there was a date posted and a date created that does give your document some context. However, when you remind yourself to look at it at a specific point in time, you are giving yourself another level of categorization that you can actually help yourself to look at it again when it's time. And so you can use the reminder feature in that manner. Now, for hints of more customization, all you'll need to do is to click this information button. You can actually change any of this information to fit what it is that you want to search for. So for example, if you want to set a source URL, if you want to set a location, you can do that. And you can actually view the additional history as it is according to the document. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we want to discuss task integration. Evernote as it stands is not created for us to manage tasks in this platform. However, there are some direct integrations that you can actually use in order to integrate tasks and Evernote. In order to do that, you are actually going to click the search bar, and then we're going to click Task. Now, there are 5 associated apps with productivity and tasks. There's IFTY, which we have seen before, Zapier, and a few others. So one of the ways that we can actually use Evernote and some kind of task manager is to tie them together through an application like IFTY or one like Zapier. In fact, Zapier ties to the popular task manager called Wunderlist. And in fact, Wunderlist and Evernote have at least 8 different integrations that you can actually use in order to integrate tasks and your use of Evernote. So for example, in going into Zapier, you'll find that the connection point is that you can create a note in Evernote and then have Zapier work inside of Wunderlist to automatically create a task. And of course, all you'll need is your Evernote account and your Wunderlist account. You would then click what's called creating a Zap. So the triggering action is that when a new note is created in a specific notebook. So we'll now need to collect an Evernote account. We'll allow Zapier to connect with our Evernote. We'll then put in our password. We'll give Zapier permission to work with Evernote. So now our Evernote account is connected. We're going to click Save and Continue. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select some advanced options. And then we're going to make sure that we use a specific notebook. So in this particular case, we're going to use the email content and copy notebook. What we're going to do now is we're going to click Continue. So to test our trigger, we want to have at least one note recently created. We're going to click Fetch and Continue. And Evernote says that our test has been successful. So now we will then click Continue. What we will do now is we will create a task inside of Wunderlist. We need to connect a Wunderlist account. We're now going to sign in. And we should test our Wunderlist account. When we are successful, we can click Save and Continue. And then we will write in a title. And we'll then click Continue. What we will do now is we will send a test to Wunderlist. And our task has just been sent to Wunderlist. So now what we can do is we can check Wunderlist to make sure that our task is now there. And if we look, our task has been added from Zapier into Wunderlist to help us to manage our tasks. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. You are now looking at Google Drive, and Google Drive is where you can not only have storage, but also all of the documents that you have within the Google Docs system. So anything that you have created in the way of slides, in the way of word processing documents, in the way of spreadsheets, is all available inside of Google Drive. And that's in addition to any other content that you have posted or linked in this area. As you can see, all users have available to them 15 gigabytes of storage space using Google Drive. And all is directed under the Gmail system. Currently, Evernote integrates directly with Google Drive. And you can see within any note, you'll be able to actually attach a file from Google Drive. So what we need to do is to create the integration. And you'll notice that this integration is available on all platforms except for Internet Explorer and Firefox. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and set up the integration. And we're going to do that by clicking the Try Now button. And that's going to take us to our Evernote account to sign in. What we'll need to do is to go inside of our settings. We can access them by going to the account area, then clicking on the settings, and then we can go to the connected services. And you're going to notice that the Google Drive area is not necessarily signed into. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on for Google Drive. That'll bring us through the sign in, and we're going to click Allow. And then we will be connected to Google Drive. We can also sign in with Google in one click, and we are then connected. So now we'll want to make sure that all of our devices are now synced. And so we'll go to our desktop and we'll click Sync. That means now that our desktop is now synced to the web application. That now means then that if we go to a certain point in our document and we actually put a space holder in there, we can then go and get our Google Drive information. So we can click Attach File from Google Drive. And what you'll see now from within Evernote are all of the documents that are available within Google Drive, except that they are now inside of Evernote. So we have a full integration. So all we'll need to do is we'll need to click on what we want to select and then click the select button. And you'll see now that this Google Drive document has now been linked inside of our notes. Now, just as is the case with all the other content, this content is now searchable within our Evernote. And the same is true in the web app. And just as a point of reference, you will not be able to search the content of these documents, but you will be able to search their titles. And because this is an online application, this will not count towards your upload quota for the month. So using Google Drive is really a way of being able to extend the storage capability of Evernote. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.